The Scottish Highlands are one of the most beautiful places on earth. Many, many people fantasize about living there. Or should I say, here. But what is it actually like, the day-to-day reality of living here in the Scottish Highlands? And further, what is it like as an American expat trying to integrate and assimilate into the local culture? Is there such a thing as wild haggis? Is Iron Brew the national drink of Scotland? If you're looking for a dumb Yank to laugh at as he makes every mistake in the book, welcome to the American Highlander. Hi, I'm Jason, and this is my house. Ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to live in the UK. I might have been born in America, but my heart is in Great Britain, and particularly the Scottish Highlands. Now that I've realized my childhood dream in my mid-40s, to live in the Scottish Highlands, it's time to unpack and get this show on the road. So welcome to my 19th century cottage. Still can't believe it. Come on in, let's go. This is from Dunrobin Sawmill. So if you're familiar with Dunrobin Castle, one of the major tourism attractions up here, Dunrobin Sawmill is right nearby. And that's where you want to get your firewood down here. Roddy, who runs it, awesome dude, total character, love that guy. You should really go to Dunrobin Sawmill, give them your business, particularly since his bags of wood are 2 pounds cheaper than Tesco. All right, now, no pressure, you're just on camera. Okay, the logical place to start would be with some information about the Highlands. Scotland can be roughly divided a few different ways, but for shorthand ease of discussion, we can look at it this way. You've got the southern uplands, which border England, the central lowlands, where most of the population lives, the Grampian Mountains, which includes beautiful places like the Trossachs and the Cairngorms, and the northwestern Highlands, which is where I live. And beyond that, the major island groupings, the Inner and Outer Hebrides, Orkney, and Shetland. To give a sense of scale to the Americans watching this, all of this amazing variety is packed into an area slightly smaller than the state of Maine. Speaking of which, Maine is the northeastern corner of the lower 48 states, but look at this. It's on basically the same latitude as the south of France. Offhand, the closest American city of any significant size I can find that's on roughly the same latitude as where I'm at would be... Juneau? Wow, Juneau. So yeah, the Highlands are on par with southern Alaska. Now, given the subject material of this channel, there is a topic that we can't pretend it doesn't exist. We have to address it. I'm an immigrant and a homeowner, so let's talk about immigration here. Now, I believe, and I should preface this by stating these are my own personal beliefs. I mean, you may totally disagree with what I'm about to say. I believe, as an immigrant, I have two responsibilities. The first is purely a function of economics. I need to give more to my host country than I take, which I am. Secondly, I believe that I have a responsibility to integrate, to assimilate into the local culture, to learn the traditions, the cultural mores, to enrich myself with the heritage, which of the countries here that presently make up the United Kingdom, we're talking thousands of years of very rich, textured, layered, nuanced history. I believe in this very strongly. I've married a British woman, and I intend to spend the rest of my life learning, listening, and doing everything I can to assimilate the culture of the host country that's adopted me. And this is nothing new, I mean, when in Rome, but I think it's very important. An elephant in the room that we need to discuss is homeownership. Now, in the past, this wouldn't really have been a big deal, but today it seems like if you're under the age of, say, 40, on both sides of the pond, the dream of homeownership feels kind of like a cruel joke. And so I want to point out, this cottage that you see behind me was on the market for, I don't know, 9 or 10 months. Everyone on the planet had an opportunity to take a crack at it before I ever saw it. Now, someone might say, well, you still bought the place, so you drove up the real estate value and you're contributing to the problem, making it harder for locals to buy in their own neighborhood. Okay, maybe. I agree, it sucks. It's a problem that definitely sucks. But consider this. The family that was living here, they're Scottish natives. And they needed the proceeds from the sale of this place to go and buy a larger house for their growing family of Scottish children. So by buying this place, I helped them. And I want to point out, they still live here in the Highlands. They're just in a different town. So the money is still within the local economy. In addition to that, the sun's really getting intense. Who knew you could get a sunburn on the same latitude as southern Norway? I think it's also worth pointing out that I bought this place not with investment dividends. I bought it with money that I've been saving since I was 15 years old. I bought it through hard work. I've been working for over 30 years, living beneath my means. I haven't always been the smartest, but I've tried not to be the dumbest. And I had to pull the trigger on it before much longer, because as it stands, I'm gonna be paying this place off until my mid-60s. And I got double taxed on my money when I brought it over from the US to the UK. And the other thing that I want to point out, I'm not an absentee landlord. Sutherland is my home. That's important because you see all the headlines about buy-to-let and Airbnbs and rent-to-rent. I just heard about that one for the first time. And I get it. It's a real problem. But I am not an absentee landlord. I live here. The Scottish Highlands are my home. And my goal with this channel is to encourage these flies and midges to go bite someone else, but also I want people to see this and be inspired to raise their families here. If even one person comes here to the Scottish Highlands as a tourist and spends money in the local economy, then this channel has served its purpose. So now then, what can you expect from this channel? When you click on an episode of American Highlander, what will you see? Because it's not just enough to talk about how beautiful the Highlands are. You've got to see it. This is why I moved up here. Welcome to the far north of Scotland. Sutherland is vast, over 2,000 square miles with a population density of barely 2 people per square kilometer. If you know anything about how densely populated parts of England have become, then consider this. Sutherland has only one roundabout, only one stoplight, no dual carriageways, and is one of the few places in Britain where you can go from the North Sea, where we are now, to the Atlantic without ever crossing county lines. Many of Scotland's most well-known attractions are actually further to the south. Loch Ness, the Cairngorms, the Trossachs, Glencoe, Applecross Pass, Glenfinnan Viaduct, and so on. But take a look at this. This is Loch Brora. There's nobody here. Aside from the farm that you see way in the distance on the other shore, there's basically no evidence that human civilization has ever existed here. I guarantee you, if this were further south, it'd be crawling with people. A couple of years ago, I spent part of my honeymoon in England's Lake District. It was beautiful, but it was really just crushed with human beings. Whereas up here, in the far north of Scotland, you can have something like this completely to yourself. Jeez. How remote is it in the Scottish Highlands? Well, it depends on where you are. You can get remote real fast out here, especially in the wintertime. If you want to escape from humanity, you can do it up here pretty easily. That said, where I'm at, I'm located in that southeasterly cluster of Sutherland, so Dornoch, Golspie, Brora, that area. And you'd be surprised how many modern amenities we have. I mean, first off, if you want to get to Inverness, that's an hour away, give or take. We've got Tesco, Asda, Aldi, I mean, all the supermarkets. We don't have Waitrose here. You have to go to the Central Belt for that, but we've got pretty much everything else. The one thing that you do need is you need a car. Yes, there is public transportation up here. There's the Far North Line, but it's a bit infrequent. And bus service, again, have a car. Now, in one respect, owning a home in the Scottish Highlands is just like owning a home anywhere else. Maintenance. I've got to mow the lawn. Oh, geez, I really have to mow the lawn. I got to deal with bird poop on the deck because the birds are busy pooping underneath their nests. They've made an entire suburb of nests underneath my roof eaves. Got to take out the trash. Got to, just a bunch of little tasks that add up if you don't stay on top of them. So might as well get to it. Come on. Yeah, buddy. I'm adulting. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how it's not done. Yeah. Yeah. I am worthless. Thanks for tuning into this first episode of American Highlander. If you've got questions or if there's specific things you want to see here in the Scottish Highlands, let me know, because I'm making this up as I go. So your feedback is probably going to help shape future episodes on this channel. One thing I can promise you with absolute certainty, living in the Scottish Highlands is every bit as good as you think it is. And in a lot of ways, even better. So whether you're watching this as a vicarious thrill, or you're contemplating one day traveling here, or even moving and living here, I hope you found this both entertaining and maybe even a little informative. So until next time, thanks for watching the American Highlander. Take care.